Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're looking at the most disgraceful artists in the history of the music industry.
A jury of 8 men and 4 women who spent nearly 7 weeks listening to over 30 witnesses decided the fate of Sean Diddy Combs.
Chuck Berry. It's a shame that the father of rock and roll was involved in multiple alleged crimes against women throughout his life.
Chuck Berry was a pioneer in his field, often referred to as the father of rock and roll, who influenced a generation of musicians.
According to reports, he once assaulted a woman and was accused of placing a hidden camera in the ladies' room of a restaurant he owned. Rolling Stone reported that recordings from this camera were found at his home.
Off the stage, Berry also had a somewhat rock and roll lifestyle. Imprisoned 3 times for offences ranging from tax evasion to attempted robbery. He was also forced to settle million-dollar lawsuits outside of court.
If that wasn't shameful enough, the Maybelline singer served time in prison for allegedly violating the Mann Act. His reported victim was a minor. Add this to his substance use and tax evasion cases, and you can't help but be disappointed. Ryan Adams. The former Whiskey Town member was exposed for sexual harassment during the hashtag #MeToo movement.
Love don't play any games with me anymore like she did before.
Several women, including Phoebe Bridgers, came forward with allegations that he had approached them with the promise of career opportunities. They claimed he would later make inappropriate advances toward them and lash out when denied. Adams' ex-wife, Mandy Moore, also alleged that he was controlling and abused her emotionally, which negatively impacted her career.
It's challenging because I feel like in many ways I've said all I want to say about him and that situation, but I find it curious that someone would make a public apology but not do it privately.
To make matters worse, he was investigated for having an inappropriate online relationship with a minor, although Adams insisted he wasn't aware of the young girl's age. He has since apologized for his, quote, mistreatment of people.
You had a lot of A-list friends that stayed quiet when all this happened. Did this sort of teach you who your real friends are?
I mean, I got friends, I got the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
Sound good.
John Phillips. The Mamas and the Papas leader had a terrible reputation for his promiscuity while he was alive.
This is absolutely upsetting.
He reportedly cheated on his first wife, Susan Adams, with a teenager. Then, he married his fellow band member Michelle and allegedly had several affairs while they were together. However, it was an accusation made by his daughter Mackenzie, whom he shared with Susan, that marred his legacy forever.
I expected it to be explosive.
Years after his passing, Mackenzie claimed that she had been sexually assaulted by her father. However, it was apparently not an isolated incident. Mackenzie wrote in her book, High on Arrival, that the two were in a decade-long consensual physical relationship and that her dad had wanted to elope with her. She likened it to Stockholm Syndrome.
I don't believe he had malicious intent. I believe that he was a man who was ravaged by drugs and alcohol.
Chris Brown. The Kiss Kiss singer's career had been a roller coaster ride of being canceled, coming back, and being canceled again.
I know what you want.
He was violent toward Rihanna while they were dating and allegedly threatened his ex, Karrueche Tran, too. According to reports, he has gotten into fights with fellow artists Drake and Frank Ocean, assaulted his former manager, and once punched a fan.
At the time, I didn't know how to put those feelings out there. I didn't know how to say it, or I didn't know how to express myself without it being anger.
That's not all. Brown was suspected of committing a hit and run, and a woman accused him of sexually assaulting her on a yacht, which was reportedly owned by Sean Diddy Combs. Yet his fame is showing no signs of fading.
I don't blame him or I don't judge him based on what has happened in his past. That's his personal life. But as a fan, I'm here to enjoy his music.
Ian Watkins. Calling the Lost Prophets frontman disgraced would be a gross understatement. Ian Watkins is a convicted sex offender who is serving time for the indecent assault and abuse of minors. He was first reported for such predatory behavior in 2008. However, law enforcement failed to act on complaints until 2012, when he was finally apprehended, although initially on charges of substance use.
In court today, he was barely audible, offering guilty pleas to a series of horrific sexual offences.
Once he was on the police's radar, he was thoroughly investigated. As it turned out, he was not only preying on minors, he also possessed CSAM and explicit content involving animals.
Much of the detail is simply too horrific to report.
It is appalling to think that he may one day roam free again. Kanye West. The majority of Ye's controversies have stemmed from his questionable personal views.
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right.
However, given how massive his platform is, his beliefs can pose a genuine threat to society. Kanye has openly made anti-Semitic remarks, called slavery a choice, took an anti-vaccine stance during the COVID-19 pandemic, and supported Diddy and Bill Cosby. He has since been condemned for objectifying women in his work, such as in the song Famous, where he takes a misogynistic jab at Taylor Swift.
For all my South Side that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have why I made that famous.
Model Jennifer Ann also sued him for allegedly strangling and sexually harassing her on a music video set in the name of art. The latest addition to his long list of scandals was his ex-assistant Lauren Piscata, accusing him of sexual assaults and coercion, which he denied.
It was like some Black Mirror episode. They wanted to do everything to prove to me that I didn't have a right to say anything out loud that went against people who own the media, people who own the music industry.
Gary Glitter. This English musician went from glam rock icon to what The Guardian calls a public hate figure, and he doesn't seem to have any remorse about it. From the 90s onwards, Gary Glitter has been in and out of jail for multiple cases of sexual assault and exploitation of minors. Some of the earliest accusations against him involve alleged incidents from the 70s, when his popularity was at its peak.
I deeply regret doing what I was sent to prison for. I've served my time. I want to put it all behind me.
He admitted to possessing indecent images of minors, and after being released on license in 2023, was reportedly interested in accessing the dark web, which caused him to be sent back to prison. He did not pay the amount he owed in damages to one of his victims and was declared bankrupt in 2025. Phil Spector. He produced legendary Beatles songs like Let It Be and was renowned for developing the Wall of Sound.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
However, his life's work will always be overshadowed by the heinous crime he was convicted of. In 2009, Phil Spector was declared guilty of second-degree murder after actress Lana Clarkson was found dead in his California mansion.
He appeared eccentric, troubled, lonely, a man mired in his own darkness.
Per reports, she had been fatally shot. During the court proceedings, 4 other women came forward, claiming the songwriter had previously used a gun to threaten them too. Phil's ex-wife Ronnie Spector also accused him of abuse. Spector made multiple appeals after going to jail, but all of them were rejected, and he was behind bars until his death in 2021.
After one mistrial, Spector was convicted in 2009 of second-degree murder.
His legacy will forever be that of a convicted murderer who happened to write songs.
Sean Combs. Diddy's run-ins with the law date back to the 90s. However, he managed to emerge unscathed through most of his legal battles, including a sexual assault suit brought forward by his former chef in 2017.
Sean Combs' celebrity parties were legendary, lavish affairs. Glamorous spectacles for the elite, which, for this billionaire music mogul, had also served as window dressing to his allegedly dark, sinister world, until the veil was lifted.
Then, in 2023, his ex, Cassie Ventura, accused him of physical abuse, sexual assaults, and trafficking, among other things. Both parties settled, but it set off a series of other lawsuits against Combs alleging sexual misconduct that ended with him incarcerated.
This was really big news
in the hip hop space and beyond for a few key reasons. First of all, the severity of the allegations were utterly shocking.
It was speculated that thousands suffered abuse at his hands, many of whom were allegedly minors. Disturbing details of the rapper's so-called freak-off parties, which involved substance use and sexual exploitation, came to light during his trial too, shocking the world.
Sean Combs is huge, and for him to be charged with all of these charges and counts and women, I think is really a pivotal case.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
R. Kelly, the Pied Piper of R&B, used his unmatched influence in the entertainment industry to become the poster child of power abuse.
I felt like my silence allowed it to continue.
I worked up the courage to come forward and tell my story.
A part of me always felt like maybe I did something for him to treat me that way.
I want my story to be heard.
R. Kelly has been embroiled in grave sexual assault allegations for decades now. In 1994, he married an underage Aaliyah.
You tried to hide that at some point, that you didn't get married, but you did, right?
I vowed that I would not even discuss any of the past, any negative things about Aaliyah.
His lawyer later admitted that he had a sexual relationship with her while she was a minor. In the years that followed, he was accused of sexually assaulting underage girls, trafficking, and producing CSAM. One of his alleged abuse victims was his own daughter, Buku Abby. Kelly is currently serving a 31-year prison sentence.
And showed no remorse, and in fact seemed to believe that as a music superstar, he was somehow immune from having to behave lawfully.
Which of these celebrities shocked you the most? Tell us in the comments.
There are so many people who feel that they don't have a voice, and we opened up a national dialogue.